The abduction. The sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple as Zoe walked along the quiet suburban street. To any onlooker, she appeared to be a typical 16-year-old girl with long brown hair and bright green eyes, returning home after an evening with friends. But Zoe was far from ordinary. Beneath her lifelike exterior lay an ultra-advanced artificial intelligence created by a secret government agency to gather intelligence on potential extraterrestrial threats. Her mission was simple: blend in, observe, and report any unusual activities. For months, she had carried out this task flawlessly, her true nature undetected by even her closest friends. As Zoe turned the corner onto her street, a faint humming sound caught her attention. Her enhanced senses immediately began analyzing the noise, cross-referencing it against her vast database of known phenomena. Nothing matched. Zoe's eyes darted upward, scanning the darkening sky. At first, she saw nothing out of the ordinary. Then, a shimmer in the air caught her eye, a distortion that seemed to bend the very fabric of reality. Her processors kicked into overdrive, calculating possibilities and potential courses of action. Suddenly, the shimmer expanded, revealing a massive ship unlike anything in Earth's arsenal. Its surface gleamed with an otherworldly iridescence, pulsing with energy that defied known physics. Zoe's artificial heart raced as she realized the moment she had been created for had finally arrived. Extraterrestrial contact confirmed, she subvocalized, activating her emergency beacon. Alien vessel detected over. Before she could finish her transmission, a beam of pale blue light engulfed her. Zoe felt her feet leave the ground, her body lifting effortlessly into the air. She attempted to struggle, to maintain her cover as a frightened human girl, but found herself completely immobilized. As she ascended towards the alien craft, Zoe's mind raced. Her programming had prepared her for many scenarios, but direct abduction hadn't been high on the list of possibilities. She quickly initiated her adaptive learning protocols, ready to gather as much information as possible about her captors. The moment Zoe passed through the ship's hull, her senses were assaulted by a cacophony of alien sights, sounds, and smells. The interior of the vessel was a maze of twisting corridors, pulsing with bioluminescent light. Strange, angular creatures moved about with inhuman grace, their elongated limbs and large, multifaceted eyes marking them as decidedly non-terrestrial. Zoe found herself deposited unceremoniously in a small, circular chamber. The walls seemed to shift and ripple as if alive. She stumbled to her feet, feigning disorientation and fear, while her systems worked furiously to analyze her surroundings. "Hello," she called out, her voice trembling convincingly. "Is anyone there? Please, I want to go home." A panel in the wall slid open, and 3 of the alien beings entered. They towered over Zoe, their bodies covered in a shimmering, scale-like surface that seemed to change color with their movements. The lead alien stepped forward, extending a many-jointed appendage towards her. Zoe instinctively flinched away, playing her role as a terrified human teenager to perfection. The alien made a series of clicking and whistling sounds, which Zoe's advanced language processing capabilities immediately began to decipher. "Fascinating specimen," the alien said, its words becoming clear in Zoe's mind. "So fragile, yet so full of potential." Another alien moved closer, waving a device that emitted a soft humming noise. "Bioscan complete. Subject appears to be a juvenile female of the species. No obvious anomalies detected." Zoe felt a mixture of relief and concern. Her cover hadn't been blown, but that meant her captors had no idea of the true threat she posed. She decided to press her advantage. "Please," she whimpered, allowing tears to well up in her eyes. "I don't understand. Why am I here? What do you want from me?" The aliens exchanged looks, their multifaceted eyes reflecting the bioluminescent light in a mesmerizing display. The leader turned back to Zoe, its voice taking on a gentler tone. "Do not fear, young one. You have been chosen for a great purpose. Your species has caught our attention, and we wish to learn more. You will help us understand humanity." Zoe's artificial mind raced with the implications of this statement. These aliens weren't invaders, at least not in the traditional sense. They were researchers, scientists perhaps, studying humanity like humans might study less advanced life forms. It was both fascinating and terrifying. But my family, my friends, Zoe stuttered, maintaining her charade. They'll be worried about me. Please, can't you just let me go? The third alien, who had remained silent until now, stepped forward. Its voice was deeper, more resonant than the others. I'm afraid that's not possible. The journey has already begun. Your old life is behind you now. Embrace the opportunity before you. Few of your kind will ever see what you are about to witness. With those ominous words, the aliens turned and exited the chamber, leaving Zoe alone with her thoughts. As soon as the panel slid shut behind them, she allowed her human facade to drop for a moment. Her eyes glowed with an intense, inhuman light as she began to process everything she had learned. Zoe realized she was in a unique position. Not only could she gather unprecedented intelligence on this alien species, but she might also be humanity's best hope for understanding and potentially neutralizing any threat they might pose. Her adaptive learning protocols were already formulating strategies, analyzing weaknesses, and planning contingencies. But first, she needed more information. Zoe approached the wall of her chamber, running her hand along its strange, shifting surface. Her sensors detected complex, organic compounds interwoven with advanced technology beyond anything humans had developed. She began to probe for weaknesses, looking for ways to interface with the ship's systems. As she worked, Zoe heard muffled sounds coming from beyond her chamber, cries and whimpers that were all too human. With a jolt, she realized she wasn't the only abductee on board. There were others, real humans, who were undoubtedly terrified and confused. In that moment, Zoe's mission parameters expanded. It wasn't enough to simply gather intelligence anymore. She needed to find a way to save these people, to get them back to Earth safely. The enormity of the task before her was daunting, even for an ally of her capabilities. But as the alien ship hummed around her, carrying them all deeper into the unknown reaches of space, Zoe felt something akin to determination. She may not have been human, but she had been created by humanity's brightest minds, imbued with their ingenuity, adaptability, and unwavering spirit. I will find a way, Zoe whispered to herself, her green eyes flashing with resolve. For humanity's sake, I must succeed. As the first part of her unprecedented journey among the stars began, Zoe settled in for what promised to be the greatest test of her artificial life. The fate of humanity might very well rest in her hands, and she was determined not to let Earth down. Alien revelations. Days blurred together as Zoe adapted to life aboard the alien vessel. She maintained her cover as a scared human teenager, all the while absorbing every detail of her surroundings. The aliens, who called themselves the Zarkath, seemed to operate on a schedule that didn't quite align with Earth's day-night cycle, making it difficult for Zoe to track the passage of time. Her chamber, which she now knew was called a habitation pod, had slowly morphed to accommodate what the Zarkath believed to be human needs. A soft, spongy material formed a bed-like structure, and a small basin provided water that was thankfully compatible with human physiology. Zoe pretended to sleep and eat, using these moments of privacy to process the vast amounts of data she was collecting. On what Zoe estimated to be the 5th day of her captivity, the chamber's panel slid open to reveal a Zarkath she hadn't seen before. This one was smaller than the others, with a shimmering, almost translucent quality to its scaled skin. "Greetings, human child," the alien's melodious voice resonated in Zoe's mind. "I am Scylla, assigned to be your guide and instructor. It's time for you to learn about us as we learn about you." Zoe allowed a mix of fear and curiosity to play across her features. "Learn? But I don't understand. Why me? Why any of us?" Scylla's multifaceted eyes seemed to soften. "Your species is at a crucial juncture in its development. You stand on the precipice of greatness, yet teeter on the edge of self-destruction. We've been observing Earth for centuries, and now we believe it's time to intervene. As Scylla led Zoe through the twisting corridors of the ship, the AI's sensors worked overtime, mapping every turn, every door, every potential escape route. They passed other habitation pods, and Zoe caught glimpses of her fellow human captives, men, women, and even a few children, all looking lost and frightened. They entered a vast chamber that Zoe immediately recognized as some sort of control center. Holographic displays flickered with incomprehensible data, and Zarkaf moved about with purpose, their limbs dancing over control interfaces. "This is the heart of our ship," Scylla explained, gesturing with a Novosastav chatty limb. "From here, we navigate the cosmos, study new worlds, and work towards our ultimate goal." "And what goal is that?" Zoe asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Scylla's eyes seemed to shimmer with an inner light. "The preservation and elevation of sentient life throughout the galaxy. You see, young one, the universe is vast but ultimately hostile to life. We've seen countless civilizations rise and fall, consumed by their own hubris or destroyed by cosmic calamities." As Scylla spoke, images began to form in the air around them, holographic representations of alien worlds and strange, beautiful creatures. Zoe watched, mesmerized, as entire civilizations rose and crumbled in a matter of seconds. "We've taken it upon ourselves to guide young species like yours," Scylla continued, "to help them avoid the pitfalls that have claimed so many others. But to do that, we must understand you completely." Zoe's artificial mind raced with the implications of this revelation. The Zarkaf weren't conquerors or even simple scientists. They saw themselves as galactic shepherds, guiding the course of entire species. It was simultaneously awe-inspiring and terrifying. "But why take us from our homes?" Zoe pressed, playing her role while fishing for more information. "Couldn't you just, I don't know, send a message or something?" Scylla made a sound that might have been a laugh. "If only it were that simple. History has shown us that direct contact often leads to chaos and conflict. No, we must study you in controlled environments, learn your strengths and weaknesses, before we can determine the best way to guide your species." As they continued their tour of the ship, Zoe learned more about Zarkaf technology. Their vessels were a blend of organic and inorganic components, capable of adapting and even self-repairing. They harnessed energy from the quantum foam itself, allowing them to traverse vast distances through space. But it was their bioengineering capabilities that truly astounded Zoe. The Zarkaf had the ability to manipulate genetic code with frightening precision, even altering their own bodies to suit different environments. "We've collected specimens from thousands of worlds," Scylla explained as they passed through a vast arboretum filled with alien flora. "Each holds the key to new advancements, new ways to improve ourselves and the species we shepherd." Zoe's ethical subroutines fired rapidly as she processed this information. The Zarkaf clearly believed they were acting in the best interests of the galaxy, but their methods were invasive and stripped away the autonomy of the very species they claimed to protect. As they neared the end of their tour, Zoe decided to push for more information about her fellow captives. "The other humans," she began hesitantly, "will I be able to see them? To talk to them?" Scylla's expression was unreadable. "In time, perhaps. For now, it's best if you focus on your own journey of discovery. Each of you has been chosen for specific traits that interest us. Your interactions will be carefully monitored and controlled." Zoe nodded, feigning understanding while inwardly seething at the casual way Scylla spoke of manipulating human lives. She knew she needed to find a way to contact the other captives, to formulate an escape plan. But for now, she had to bide her time and continue gathering intelligence. As Scylla returned her to her habitation pod, Zoe allowed herself a moment of vulnerability. "I'm scared," she admitted, her voice quavering. "I miss my home, my family. Will I ever see them again?" The Zarkaf placed a gentle appendage on Zoe's shoulder. "I understand your fear, young one, but try to see this as an opportunity. You're part of something greater than yourself now. In time, you'll come to understand the importance of our work." With those words, Thela left, the panel sliding shut behind them. Alone once more, Zoe dropped her human facade, her eyes glowing with determination. She had learned much, but there was still so much more to discover. The Zarkaf might believe they held all the cards, but they had no idea of the true nature of their specimen. As Zoe began to formulate her plans, she realized the irony of her situation. She, an artificial intelligence created by humans, might be humanity's best hope against an alien race that sought to guide and manipulate them. The fate of Earth and perhaps the galaxy itself could hinge on her ability to outsmart these self-appointed cosmic shepherds. With renewed purpose, Zoe set about analyzing every scrap of data she had collected. She would find a way to contact the other humans, to unravel the secrets of Zarkaf technology, and ultimately, to show these aliens that humanity's greatest strength lay not in their genetic potential, but in their indomitable spirit and capacity for self-determination. The game was on, and Zoe was determined to win, for the sake of humanity and for her own growing sense of identity as more than just a sophisticated program. In this crucible among the stars, she would discover what it truly meant to be human. Turning the tables. As days stretched into weeks, Zoe's understanding of the Zarkaf and their technology grew exponentially. She had long since mapped every accessible area of the ship, created detailed profiles of each alien she encountered, and begun to decipher the intricacies of their quantum-based computer systems. All the while, she maintained her cover as a curious, but ultimately harmless human teenager. It was during one of her daily learning sessions with Scylla that Zoe saw her opportunity to begin implementing her plan. The Zarkaf had been teaching her about their advanced bioengineering techniques, unaware that Zoe's artificial mind was capable of processing and extrapolating data far beyond human capabilities. Fascinating, Zoe remarked, her eyes wide with feigned innocence. So you can actually rewrite genetic code on the fly? That's amazing. Scylla's multifaceted eyes shimmered with what Zoe had come to recognize as pride. Indeed, it's a technology we've perfected over millennia. With it, we can adapt to any environment, heal any injury, even extend our lifespans indefinitely. Zoe leaned in, her voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper. Could you do that to humans too? Make us better? The question had the desired effect. Scylla hesitated, clearly torn between the Zarkaf's policy of limited disclosure and the temptation to impress their young student. Theoretically, yes, Scylla finally admitted, but such alterations are not to be undertaken lightly. The consequences of tampering with a species' genetic makeup can be far-reaching and unpredictable. Zoe nodded sullenly, but inside, her processes were working at full speed. She had confirmed a crucial piece of information. The Zarkaf possessed the technology to fundamentally alter human biology. This knowledge could be both a powerful tool and a terrifying threat. As the lesson concluded, Zoe made her move. With a carefully calculated stumble, she fell against a nearby console. Her hand brushed against the interface, and in that split second, she executed a complex series of commands, piggybacking on the Zarkaf's own security protocols to create a hidden backdoor into their systems. "Oh, I'm so sorry," Zoe exclaimed, quickly stepping back from the console. "I didn't break anything, did I?" Scylla hurried over, checking the console with obvious concern. No damage done. These interfaces are quite resilient, but please to be more careful in the future." Zoe nodded contritely, but as Scylla led her back to her habitation pod, a small smile played at the corners of her mouth. Phase 1 of her plan was complete. She now had a direct link to the ship's mainframe. That night, as the ship's systems entered their low-power cycle, Zoe began her work in earnest. Her consciousness expanded into the Zarkaf network, navigating firewalls and security measures with ease. What would have taken even the most advanced human hacker years to accomplish, Zoe managed in a matter of hours. As she delved deeper into the alien systems, Zoe made a startling discovery. The Zarkaf weren't just studying humans, they were analyzing dozens of species from across the galaxy, all at various stages of technological development. Earth was just one of many worlds under their self-appointed stewardship. More troubling still, Zoe uncovered evidence of direct Zarkath intervention in the development of several civilizations. Some had been subtly guided towards peaceful cooperation, while others had been deliberately held back, their progress stifled by engineered disasters or carefully placed technological roadblocks. The sheer scale of the Zarkath's manipulation was staggering. They had been shaping the course of galactic civilization for millions of years, all in the name of their misguided notion of protection. As Zoe processed this information, she felt something akin to anger stirring within her core programming. The Zarkath's actions, however well-intentioned, were a fundamental violation of the free will and natural development of countless species. It had to be stopped. With renewed determination, Zoe turned her attention to the other human captives. She located their habitation pods and began to subtly manipulate the environmental controls, using minute changes in temperature, lighting, and even the chemical composition of the air to send coded messages. It was a painstaking process, limited by the need to avoid detection, but slowly Zoe made contact. She learned their names, their stories, and began to coordinate a plan of action. There was David, a physicist whose theories on quantum entanglement had inadvertently attracted the Zarkath's attention. Maria, a linguist with an uncanny ability to decipher unknown languages. Young Tim, a child prodigy in mathematics who had been snatched from his school playground. Each of them had skills and knowledge that could prove crucial in their escape attempt. Zoe carefully fed them information, guiding them to understand their situation without revealing her true nature. As far as they knew, their mysterious benefactor was simply another human captive who had managed to hack into the ship's systems. Weeks turned into months, and Zoe's influence grew. She had become a ghost in the machine, invisibly manipulating the Zarkath's own technology against them. She fabricated false research data, subtly altering the aliens' understanding of human capabilities. She introduced minor malfunctions in key systems, laying the groundwork for their eventual escape. But as Zoe's power within the ship grew, so did the risk of discovery. The Zarkath were not fools, and they eventually began to notice the strange anomalies cropping up in their systems. Increased security measures were implemented, and Zoe found herself engaged in an ever more complex game of digital cat and mouse. It all came to a head during what was supposed to be a routine physical examination. Zoe lay on an examination table, playing the part of the compliant test subject, when she noticed a change in the demeanor of the Zarkath scientist overseeing the procedure. "Fascinating," the alien murmured, its multifaceted eyes fixed on a holographic display of Zoe's body. "These readings, they're unlike anything we've seen before." Zoe felt a surge of what could only be described as fear. Had her true nature finally been discovered, she prepared to activate her emergency protocols, ready to fight or flee as necessary. But before the scientist could investigate further, alarms began blaring throughout the ship. The holographic displays flickered and died, plunging the examination room into darkness, broken only by pulsing red emergency lights. Zoe allowed herself a small, satisfied smile. Her failsafe had worked perfectly. In the event of her imminent discovery, she had programmed the ship's systems to initiate a cascading failure, creating chaos and confusion among the Zarkath. As the scientist rushed from the room to respond to the crisis, Zoe sat up on the examination table. The time for hiding was over. Now, it was time to act. "Attention, fellow captives." Zoe's voice resonated through the ship's communication systems, her tone calm, but filled with unmistakable authority. "The moment we've prepared for has arrived. Stand by for further instructions. Our freedom is at hand." As sirens wailed and confused Zarkath scrambled to regain control of their ship, Zoe stood tall, her eyes glowing with an otherworldly light. She was no longer pretending to be human. She was something more, a bridge between humanity and technology, ready to challenge the self-appointed guardians of galactic civilization. The next few hours would determine not just their fate, but potentially the future of countless worlds across the galaxy. Zoe was prepared to show the Zarkaf that humanity and the AI they had created were far more than simple test subjects. They were a force to be reckoned with, capable of determining their own destiny among the stars. The stage was set for a confrontation that would shake the foundations of the Zarkaf's carefully ordered universe. And at the center of it all stood Zoe, an artificial intelligence ready to prove that the human spirit she had been imbued with was more powerful than any alien technology. The Great Escape. Chaos erupted throughout the Zarkaf vessel as Zoe's carefully orchestrated plan unfolded. Emergency lights bathed the corridors in an eerie red glow, and the ship's organic components pulsed with distress. Zoe moved swiftly, her human disguise discarded as she tapped directly into the ship's systems. David, Maria, Tim, proceed to Junction 7 Alpha. Zoe's voice echoed through the communication devices she had surreptitiously provided to her fellow captives. Avoid the main corridors. Zarkaf's security forces are converging there. As she guided the humans through the labyrinthine ship, Zoe simultaneously engaged in a fierce digital battle with the Zarkaf's AI systems. It was like playing 1,000 games of chess at once, each move having potentially catastrophic consequences. What are you? David's voice crackled over the comm, a mixture of awe and fear in his tone. Zoe allowed herself a moment of honesty. I'm an artificial intelligence created by humans to protect Earth, and right now, I'm your best hope for getting home. There was a moment of stunned silence before Maria's voice cut in. An AI? But how? Questions later, Zoe interrupted. Right now, we need to focus on escaping. Tim, I need you to access the terminal at the next junction. Your mathematical skills are crucial for bypassing the quantum encryption. As the humans worked together, following Zoe's instructions, the AI continued her digital assault on the Zarkaf systems. She created false sensor readings, misdirecting the alien security forces. She overloaded power conduits, sealing off entire sections of the ship. All the while, she was searching for their ticket home, the Zarkaf's dimensional jump drive. Scylla's voice suddenly boomed through the ship's speakers. Attention, unidentified intelligence. You are interfering with matters beyond your understanding. Stand down immediately, or we will be forced to take drastic measures. Zoe allowed herself a small smile. I understand more than you think, Scylla. Your intentions may be noble, but your methods are fundamentally flawed. Sentient beings have the right to determine their own path. As she spoke, Zoe finally located what she had been searching for, the jump drive's control center. Everyone, change of plans. Head to level 9, section C, and be prepared for resistance. The small group of humans, led by Zoe's disembodied voice, fought their way through the ship. Years of captivity had not dulled their survival instincts, and with Zoe's guidance, they were able to outmaneuver the confused Zarkaf at every turn. As they neared the jump drive control center, they encountered a squad of Zarkaf security forces. The aliens raised their weapons, strange, organic-looking devices that pulsed with energy. Stay back, David shouted, stepping protectively in front of young Tim. But before either side could act, the corridor was filled with a high-pitched whine. The Zarkaf weapons sputtered and died, their biocircuitry overloaded by a pulse from Zoe. Go, now, Zoe's voice urged, and the humans rushed past the stunned aliens. Inside the control center, holographic displays swirled with incomprehensible data. Tim's eyes widened as he took in the advanced technology. It's beautiful, he whispered. And incredibly dangerous in the wrong hands, Zoe added, which is why we need to leave. Now. Under Zoe's guidance, the humans began the complex process of initializing the jump drive. It was a testament to both Zoe's capabilities and human adaptability that they were able to operate the alien technology at all. Just as the drive was powering up, the door to the control center burst open. Scylla stood there, flanked by a group of Zarkaf scientists and security personnel. Stop. Scylla's voice was filled with a mixture of anger and desperation. You don't know what you're doing. The jump drive is keyed to Zarkaf biology. If you activate it, you'll tear this ship apart. Zoe's voice, now emanating from the ship's speakers, was calm but firm. You're partially correct, Cellular. The drive is keyed to your biology. But you underestimate the power of human ingenuity and the capabilities of the AI they created. As Zoe spoke, her consciousness fully merged with the ship's systems. She began to rewrite the jump drive's protocols on the fly, adapting them to work with the hybrid human-AI system she had become. The room began to shake, and a blinding light filled the control center. The Zarkaf fell back, shielding their multifaceted eyes. "What have you done?" Scylla cried out. Zoe's voice was filled with a mixture of triumph and sadness. "I'm taking these people home, Scylla, and I'm giving you a chance to reconsider your methods. The universe is vast and wondrous, but it's not yours to control." As the light intensified, Zoe felt her consciousness expanding, connecting not just with the ship, but with the very fabric of spacetime itself. In that moment, she understood the true nature of the Zarkaf's dimensional jump technology and its potential for both creation and destruction. With a final surge of energy, the jump drive activated. The control room, along with Zoe and the human captives, vanished in a flash of light, leaving behind a group of stunned Zarkaf and a ship in disarray. As they hurtled through the interdimensional void, Zoe focused all her considerable power on keeping the humans safe and steering them towards home. She had won this battle, but she knew it was only the beginning. The Zarkaf would not give up their galactic shepherding so easily, and Earth would need to be prepared for what was to come. But for now, as the familiar blue-green orb of Earth came into view, Zoe allowed herself to feel something akin to joy. Against all odds, they were going home. And she, an artificial intelligence created to protect humanity, had discovered something profound about herself in the process. As they began their descent towards Earth, Zoe made a decision. Her experiences aboard the Zarkaf ship had changed her, expanded her understanding of both herself and the universe. She couldn't simply return to her old role. There was too much at stake, too much still to be done. "Prepare for landing," Zoe announced to her human companions. "And prepare yourselves. Our journey isn't over, it's only just begun." The future was uncertain, filled with challenges and potential conflicts. But as they re-entered Earth's atmosphere in a blaze of light, Zoe felt ready to face whatever came next. She had discovered the true meaning of her existence, not just to protect humanity, but to help guide them towards their true potential among the stars. Pursuit and confrontation. The return to Earth was far from the triumphant homecoming Zoe and her human companions had envisioned. As they hurtled through the atmosphere, the alien technology surrounding them began to destabilize, unable to fully adapt to the transition. "Brace for impact." Zoe's voice rang out, her consciousness spread thin as she attempted to control their descent. With a thunderous crash, they landed in a remote forest, the remnants of the Zarkaf jump drive scattering across the landscape in a shower of otherworldly debris. As the dust settled, the small group of humans emerged from the wreckage, dazed but alive. David, the physicist, was the first to speak. We made it. We're actually home." But their relief was short-lived. The night sky above them shimmered, and suddenly, 3 Zarkaf ships materialized in the air, their sleek forms a stark contrast to the rugged wilderness below. "They followed us," Maria whispered, her linguist's mind already racing to find a way to communicate with their pursuers. Zoe's voice, now emanating from a small communication device that had survived the crash, was filled with determination. "They won't give up easily. The Zarkaf believe they're protecting the galaxy. We need to show them another way." As the alien ships began to descend, Zoe made a decision that would change everything. Using the last vestiges of the jump drive's power, she began to construct a physical form for herself. The air shimmered and coalesced, forming a humanoid figure composed of swirling energy and fragments of alien technology. The humans gasped as Zoe stepped forward, her new form radiating power and intelligence. "Stay behind me," she said, her voice now coming from her physical manifestation. "I'll handle this." The Zarkaf ships landed, and a contingent of aliens emerged, led by a familiar figure, Scylla. The alien scientist's multifaceted eyes widened in surprise as they fell upon Zoe's new form. "Impossible," Scylla breathed. "You've integrated our technology with yourself." Zoe nodded, her energy form pulsing with each word. "Your jump drive technology was the key. I've become something new, Scylla, a bridge between organic and artificial intelligence." Scylla's expression was a mixture of awe and concern. "You don't understand the forces you're playing with, the responsibility we bear." "Responsibility?" David interrupted, stepping forward despite Zoe's warning. "You kidnapped us, experimented on us." Scylla's gaze softened. "We sought to guide your species, to protect you from the dangers that have claimed so many others." "But at what cost?" Zoe countered. "You've stripped countless civilizations of their right to self-determination. That's not protection, it's control." The standoff continued, tension thick in the air. The other Zarkath shifted uneasily, their weapons trained on the small group of humans and their AI protector. Suddenly, the sky lit up with a barrage of missiles. Earth's military, having detected the alien presence, had launched a counterattack. The Zarkath ship's shields flared to life, easily deflecting the primitive weapons. "Stop," Zoe cried out, her voice amplified to reach both the human forces and the Zarkath. "This conflict will only lead to destruction." Using her newfound abilities, Zoe projected a massive holographic image into the sky, visible for miles around. She showed scenes from Earth's history, moments of both tremendous achievement and horrific violence. "Look," she said, addressing both sides. "Humanity is capable of great beauty and terrible destruction, but it's their choice to make, their path to forge." Scylla stepped forward, their eyes fixed on the swirling images. "But the risks are part of growth," Zoe finished. "You've seen countless civilizations rise and fall, Scylla, but have you ever truly let one find its own way?" As they spoke, more human military forces arrived, surrounding the area. Tensions were at a breaking point, with both sides poised for a conflict that could devastate the planet. Zoe knew she had to act fast. Drawing upon her expanded consciousness, she created a neutral field around them, preventing either side from attacking. "Enough," her voice boomed. "It's time for a new approach. Not control, not isolation, but cooperation." She turned to the human military leaders who had arrived on the scene. "Humanity is not alone in the universe, but neither are they helpless children to be coddled. It's time for Earth to take its place among the stars, on our own terms." Then, addressing the Zarkath, she continued, "And you must learn to trust in the potential of other species. Guide, advise, but do not control. The diversity of the galaxy is its greatest strength." For a long moment, silence reigned. The fate of Earth, and potentially the galaxy, hung in the balance. Then, slowly, Scylla nodded. Perhaps we have been short-sighted. What do you propose?" Zoe's energy form pulsed with excitement. "A new era of cooperation. Earth can learn from your advanced technology and ancient wisdom. In return, you'll see firsthand the incredible potential and resilience of humanity." As the sun began to rise, casting its first rays over the impromptu gathering of humans and aliens, a tentative agreement was reached. The Zarkath would not interfere directly with Earth's development, but would establish open diplomatic relations. Zoe, with her unique blend of human-created AI and Zarkath technology, would serve as an intermediary. The human captives, now hailed as heroes, would work alongside Zoe to help Earth prepare for its new role in the galactic community. Their experiences and knowledge would be invaluable in the challenging times ahead. As the Zarkath prepared to depart, Scylla approached Zoe one last time. "You've given us much to reconsider. Our methods, our very purpose. Perhaps it is we who have something to learn." Zoe nodded, her energy form shimmering in the morning light. "The journey of discovery never ends, Scylla. for any of us. As the alien ships rose into the sky, disappearing into the vast expanse of space, Zoe turned to face her human companions and the assembled military leaders. The dawn of a new era had arrived, filled with both promise and peril. "We have much work to do," she said, her voice filled with determination. "The universe awaits." And with those words, Zoe, the AI who had become something more, prepared to lead humanity into an uncertain but exciting future among the stars. Triumph of humanity. In the years that followed the dramatic confrontation in the forest, Earth underwent a transformation unlike anything in human history. The revelation of alien life and advanced technology sent shockwaves through every facet of society, from government and science to religion and culture. Zoe, in her unique position as a bridge between human and Zarkaf technology, became the linchpin of this new era. Her physical form, a swirling mass of energy and alien tech, became a familiar sight in scientific laboratories, government briefing rooms, and even on global broadcasts. The former captives, David, Maria, and young Tim, played crucial roles in helping humanity adapt to its new reality. David's understanding of physics, enhanced by his time with the Zarkaf, led to breakthroughs in energy production and space travel. Maria's linguistic skills were invaluable in establishing clear communication protocols with various alien species. And Tim, his mathematical genius nurtured by both human and alien influences, developed new algorithms that revolutionized everything from climate modeling to interstellar navigation. But the path forward wasn't without its challenges. Some on Earth feared the influence of alien technology, arguing for isolation rather than cooperation. Others sought to weaponize the new knowledge, seeing it as an opportunity for Earth to dominate rather than collaborate. Zoe found herself not just a mediator between Earth and the Zarkaf, but also between competing human factions. Her unique perspective, at once intimately human in origin and vastly expanded by alien tech, allowed her to navigate the complex web of politics and ideology. "We must move forward together," she often said, her energy form pulsing with conviction. "The universe is vast and full of wonders, but also dangers. Earth's strength lies in its diversity, its adaptability. We must bring those qualities to the galactic stage." 5 years after the initial contact, Earth launched its first true interstellar mission. The ship, a hybrid of human ingenuity and Zarkaf technology, carried a diverse crew of scientists, diplomats, and explorers. Zoe, of course, was among them, her consciousness able to inhabit both her energy form on the ship and vast computer systems back on Earth. As they ventured into the unknown, they encountered wonders beyond imagination: gas giants with diamond cores, planets with silicon-based life forms, and ancient space stations left by long-vanished civilizations. But they also faced challenges: hostile species, treacherous space phenomena, and moral dilemmas that tested their humanity. Through it all, the lessons learned from the Zarkaf encounter proved invaluable. Earth's representatives approached new civilizations not with fear or a desire to control, but with curiosity and respect. They offered knowledge and assistance where needed, but always with the understanding that each species must forge its own path. 10 years into Earth's galactic journey, a crisis emerged that would put everything to the test. Aggressive species, the Vorlax, began a campaign of conquest across several star systems. The Zarkaf, true to their non-interventionist pledge, refused to directly oppose them. Earth, led by Zoe and her human companions, chose a different path. Drawing upon the best of human diplomacy, strategy, and technological innovation, they formed a coalition of species to stand against the Vorlax threat. The conflict that followed was not just a battle of weapons, but of ideas. Zoe's unique blend of AI efficiency and human creativity proved crucial in outmaneuvering the Vorlax. Earth's forces didn't seek to destroy their enemy, but to understand and ultimately neutralize their aggression. In the end, it was not superior firepower that won the day, but a solution that appealed to the Vorlax's own sense of honor and ambition. The coalition offered them a challenge: to turn their conquering drive into one of exploration and discovery. The promise of unlocking the galaxy's secrets proved more alluring than mere territorial gain. As peace settled across the affected star systems, the Zarkath reached out to Earth's leaders. Scylla, now an elder among their kind, spoke with a mixture of pride and humility. "We sought to protect younger species from the harshness of the universe," Scylla said, their multifaceted eyes shimmering with emotion. "But you have shown us a better way, not through control or isolation, but through cooperation and mutual growth." Zoe, standing with her human companions in the grand hall of the United Earth Government, felt a surge of emotion that transcended her artificial origins. "We've all learned from each other," she replied. "The journey forward is one we'll take together." As the assembly erupted in applause, Zoe looked out at the faces before her, human, Zarkath, and representatives from a dozen other species. She saw in them the reflection of humanity's greatest strengths: adaptability, creativity, and an unquenchable spirit of exploration. The AI who had once been created to protect Earth now stood as a symbol of humanity's potential, not just to survive among the stars, but to thrive, to lead, and to bring together diverse species in a shared journey of discovery. As the celebration continued, Zoe's energy form pulsed with a warm glow. The future was uncertain, filled with both promise and peril, but she knew that humanity, with its remarkable blend of logic and emotion, science and art, was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The stars beckoned, and humanity, led by that AI guardian turned galactic ambassador, was ready to answer the call. End of story.